Give me 1 second to get this set up. Oops. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. Let's wait a couple of minutes until people come in. And if you have a question, go ahead and let me know. And I guess we'll start with questions before we get into it. So definitely ask questions. Hey Dana, how are you? Hey, I'm excited. Who's excited for 2021? I think that, hey, I think that 2020 taught me personally how to pivot. It was great for e-commerce because at one point everyone was like kind of at home, or most people were at home. I mean, it was unfortunate for a lot of people, you know, who've lost jobs. But if you started your business this year, I definitely think that 2020 was great for e-commerce. And one thing about it is if you started this year and you can continue to build momentum, did you guys know a lot of like successful businesses were built during like recessions, in economic downturns? So I think that there's opportunity, you know, even though the country may be going in one direction for an e-commerce business owner, there's still room for you, as long as you are capable of pivoting. Being able to pivot will probably be the best thing that someone could possibly do. Okay, are there any questions? Let's see. Does anyone have any questions? I'm so excited that some of you guys have finally caught a live so you can ask your questions. So let's see. So I kind of wanted to talk about how I'm planning for next year. So there's a lot of things in my business that worked this year, and then there's a lot of things that didn't work. One thing, I had a really good Black Friday sale this year. And that was something that last year I launched around Black Friday and I was all out of inventory. So this year you kind of want to plan your months around holidays. That is one thing that I definitely saw. So right now, you know, it is December. What's first? I think Mother's Day is first. So by, I think, is Mother's Day in May? Can someone find that out for me? If Mother's Day is in May, you want to start preparing for your Mother's Day inventory in February. What else is a big sale? So this year, when you're planning your inventory, definitely plan around holidays and then order your inventory 2 months out. So May is a big time to order inventory. Black Friday, anytime that there's like a major holiday, plan sales around those days. One thing that I did not do this last half of the last half of the quarter is I didn't run sales. My only sale was Black Friday. So I don't want you guys getting your customers. Sorry guys. Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me? My phone rang. Are you guys with me? Let's see. Okay, hopefully you guys are with me. Okay. One thing I did not do the second half of the year is I did not run any sales until Black Friday. So get your customers used to paying your price. Do not always put your stuff on sale. They kind of won't take you serious if they think that another sale's around the corner. What I did do was relied on the discount codes that are on my thank you cards. So, and when you put a discount code on your thank you card, you should already have the price factored in, right? So on my thank you cards, people get 15% off. So when I'm thinking about what I'm going to price my items, I already have the thought that they're going to come back and use this discount code, and it's already going to be $15 marked off. So one thing that I did do different the second half of the year is I got my customers, they weren't used to sales coming around. They used the discount codes. Have you looked into more local vendors that you can communicate more in person? I'm thinking about going that route. Houston, if any tips if you have. So I personally have not found any local vendors, but that's another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys. I am going to open up a wholesale shop for like chains. So that's something that you'll see. Like I have chains. I love my chain vendors. So I'm going to, for those who are just starting off, if you are just getting small quantities like of 10, I'm going to start launching that maybe February. But so the reason I don't work with local like US vendors for wholesale is because no matter, how do I say this? The markup in the US, it's just different than buying your stuff wholesales overseas. For me to buy 100 or 200 of a chain, it's usually double the price of what I find overseas. So that's me personally why I don't use US vendors, is because if I'm buying 100 to 200 chains and it's a US vendor, I'm usually spending 3 times the amount. So that's why I personally don't use US vendors. But I'm not against them. If you're buying small quantities, I don't think that there's anything wrong with US vendors. I personally haven't found one that I would, but you know what? I would check LA. Like LA has a jewelry district. Check anywhere that has a jewelry district. LA has a jewelry district. New York has a jewelry district. You might be surprised. But in what I've seen, a lot of people that use US vendors, their pricing is much higher. So because their pricing is much higher, they target a different kind of client. My customers are used to spending less than anywhere between 40 to, anywhere between $30 to $50. And then that's just my lane. So in order for me to keep pricing low, I choose to go overseas. But by all means, if you want to work with US vendors, just make sure you market to the people who are willing to pay more, because it's going to cost you more in the long run. So all right, yeah. Okay. So I have my own products of denim and leather and custom jewelry. I have not yet launched the line until January, but I would like to sell wholesale too. Yeah, wholesale is a route to go. Just know that when you sell wholesale, your margins are going to be tight. So just keep that in mind. So it is better if you make custom pieces. Instagram is great. But just know if you start wholesaling your items, the profit margin is very small. Because in wholesale, in their mind, they're like, okay, I'm about to buy 20 pieces from this person, so I need to get a deal. The shipping always take about a month. I ordered samples, but this was at the peak of COVID lockdown. Not sure if it's gotten any better. Yeah, so okay, so at the peak of lockdown, you have to think about it. So it was COVID and they had the Chinese New Year. So a lot of people were just off for Chinese New Year, right? So the factories were shut down for Chinese New Year, and then COVID hit. So Chinese New Year. Oh, and that is another thing you guys need to prepare for. If you are purchasing overseas, they shut down for a month. So everything that needs to be done right now. It does normally take 30 days. So if you're ordering today, you're pushing it, and I don't know if you'll get your stuff in time for before Chinese New Year's. So Chinese New Year is the end of January until mid-February, right? So just don't expect them to be working end of January, mid-February, like 3 weeks, right? So in the beginning of the year, first we had Chinese New Year, and then everything shut down because of COVID. And then there's different times of the year when things pick up. Like, so my order for Black Friday, I ordered that in October. It was supposed to arrive the first week of December, but I didn't get my Black Friday stuff out until last week. And I was pushing it, and people were upset. So this is why we're planning now. So you guys have to plan your inventory beforehand, and you have to kind of plan it around their calendar. So to answer your question, yes, shipping has gotten a lot better. But if you purchased something and it was taking forever, it was probably because of Chinese New Year and because of COVID. But now that the holiday's over, I think it's kind of like back to normal, but they do have their peaks, the peak seasons. Can you provide information on how you added Klarna as an additional checkout option? What are the requirements? How did I add Klarna? I think I just went on Klarna's website. Let's see. I think I just went on Klarna's website, and then I applied. Okay, so if you go on Klarna's website, there's a bar at the top, and it says Klarna for Business. And then it gives you the breakdown of how much their rate is, and then you just sign up. And I just signed up. It was very easy. I applied for Afterpay, but I applied for Afterpay like when I first launched. So I think that's why I didn't get approved. But I love using Klarna. They take care of the payment, and then they pay you the following week. So it's very, very convenient, and it allows people to break their payment down into 4 payments. One thing about Klarna, though, is at first it was allowing people to do the 4 payment method at no matter what the price was. So I actually had to contact Klarna, and I told them, hey, can you not let them do that? I was like, so now there's a $50 minimum in my shop in order for you to use Klarna. So just make sure that when you first sign up, it'll break down any amount. The point is you want people to spend more in your store. So now in order for people to use Klarna, they must at least have a $50 order. Let's see. Oops, why isn't it? I can't see your comments. Okay. How do I negotiate with sellers on prices? So, it was much easier to negotiate. I'm going to be completely honest. It was so much easier to negotiate with sellers on prices. I rarely see any sellers doing that anymore. The reason that I was told is the prices of stuff was going up on their end. I don't know how true that is, but they said that the price of the stuff was going up on their end, so then that's why their rates are more fixed at this point. So unfortunately, I have no advice at the moment on how to negotiate because I tried And they were just like, there's nothing that we can do. This is our rate at this moment. So maybe if the market like becomes a little bit stronger, we might have room to negotiate again. But as of this point, I have not been able to successfully negotiate with vendors. Are you still off? Oopsie, excuse me. Let's see. Are you still offering a mentorship service for those starting and looking to build in the new future? I am. I kind of slowed down, and this is going to be like completely honest. I slowed down because it's really disheartening. Like, I try to help people, and then I see like people basically just copying and pasting what I'm doing. And the reason I wanted to help people is so you guys could get your ideas off the ground, not for like you to like mimic me. I don't know. So like I've seen people like with my like fearless rings. I've seen people who ask for my help, and then they literally copy and paste my product descriptions and put it on their website, and then change out a few words. So it's just so hard to like get on live and talk to you guys, because like I feel like the more and more content I put out, the more and more copies I see, and like it's just so disheartening. So I am doing one-on-one calls right now. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do my mentorship program. Like I think I might have people apply because I would love to work with people who have their own vision, who have their own creativity, who aren't just like looking to like copy and paste. I love like listening to like other people's ideas. Like if you have a great idea, I can, tell you how, I did a few things, and, you can see what works for your brand. I don't want to work with copies. Like I just don't. So I'm working on a mentorship. I'm trying to get like all the legal stuff in order before I launch it. I think that I'll do like an intensive in January, but you will have to apply to be a part of the intensive to make sure like you have your own ideas, and then we can figure out how you can launch your business like the best to your ability, not how to copy and paste and then just like expect all the work to be done. So it's just really disheartening. So that's why I haven't really gone forward with the mentorship program. It's because every time I look around, it's just like seeing your own products in someone else's ad, and I'm just like, bruh, like even the product description, like you want to copy that too. Like, so it's just a little disheartening, but I am still doing one-on-one calls. Let's see. Are you still doing a full-time job? Do you plan on making jewelry business your full-time gig? Do you have any advice, plans on transitioning your side hustle to your full-time hustle? So I actually just lost my job. And so I have until the end of January at my full-time job, but this was something that we knew was coming. My business merged with another company, and there was 17 of us, and they narrowed my position down to 5. I did not get one of the 5. I kind of bombed the interview anyway. Not bombed it, but it's a very like admin role, and I was like, I want to do this, and I see the company going this way, and they were like, girl, like, no. This is to keep your current job, not to create your own. I was like, well, I want to create my own job. So like I already knew that I wasn't gonna get chosen. But it was like, so I didn't get a part of the 5, but I do get severance for the next year. So I'm basically going to be jobless, but still getting paid for the next year. And I knew it was coming. So I feel like at this point, God has kind of kicked me out of my full-time job because I wasn't going to leave. I really was not going to leave. I was so comfortable working from home, doing that and my business. So I don't have any ideas, or I don't have any advice for transitioning out. I was kind of kicked out. But I will say, build up as much as you can right now. So like, even though I did work my 9 to 5 from 6 to maybe 3 a.m., I was building Bold by Monique, right? I constantly ask my customers what they want to see. I constantly get their feedback. I study my sales like no other, to see what works, what doesn't work. I restock and I double stock on the things that sell out immediately. If things are selling out immediately, that's when you know you have a great product. And so I've bought more inventory with that kind of stuff. So just kind of plan and just prepare that way. I do save now. I've been saving, but eventually I won't have that income. I'll stop getting my job income in 2022. So I'm trying to use this next year to just build everything up. So I'll be fine. I was fine before. Like if I was just to live off of my jewelry sales, I'd be fine. But I think my 9 to 5 is just a comfort thing that I think God's kind of like, enough of that. So, oh well, I'll be fine. I'm not worried. Let's see. Can you share some tips on Facebook, Instagram ads? For me personally, I haven't worked at all, for me personally, they haven't worked at all, and I don't know where I'm going wrong. Okay, so first thing, you want to make sure your pixels are set up. Hopefully you're using Shopify. If you're using Shopify, you can connect your Facebook pixels to your Shopify page. And so what that's doing is everyone that shops from you, it's collecting data, right? So in Facebook Ads Manager, when I hope you're not just like boosting posts, right? That doesn't work. If you go into Facebook Ads Manager, connect your pixels to the Shopify page, Facebook is collecting data. So like you can target people that have visited your website, right? So you want to target people that have visited your website, right? So, and you want them to be conversions. So you can say people that have visited my website in the last 30 days, females ages, 18 to 34. I don't know, whatever it is. You want to play around with it. Now, as far as images, some images don't convert on Facebook and some do. Videos, some videos don't convert on Facebook, some do. So with Facebook ads, you literally, it's all about testing. Test videos, test pictures, test demographics, test just test. Like there's so many things that you can test, and there's a lot of videos that explain Facebook ads better and how to test the ads. But the number one thing that you have to do is connect your Shopify pixels with your Facebook Ads Manager pixels, because that is how Facebook gets data, right? So try that, and then try testing videos and pictures in different types of images. Also, you don't want to say buy now. No, you need like something like catchy. Like if you're trying to like advertise like 40% off, like use something catchy. So just work on your copy, work on the ads, and then make sure your pixels are connected. So, all right. Can you make a video in the future about pre-launch strategies? Things like how to bring excitement to people, how to attract people, how to do marketing strategy, content strategy, etc. So I actually did not have like this whole plan out pre-launch strategy. So if you go to my Instagram, I had a picture of my first ring, right? So like my rings look like this. I had 3 of them. And I just put a picture of my rings. The next post was an introduction. I said, hey, my name is Monique. I decided to create this line because I wanted to inspire other women, give them little reminders that they can make. Like, I just introduced myself and I told them my mission, right? And then the next couple of posts, I just posted more about my rings, like this ring. And like, so I let people in on my story, and it wasn't any like big fancy pre-launch anything. You want to come on the scene like you've done this before, like you've been here before. Like people will like give you pity buys, like, oh, that's cute, she launched. No, you need to come in confident, because I feel like on the internet people can sense whether you're just like trying this out or if you're confident. And I think that's the best advice. There's no pre-launch strategy. There's nothing, like, just bust on the scene with confidence, introduce yourself, introduce your products, go on live, utilize your stories, do some behind the scenes. Like if you have your packaging, you ain't got to send out your orders to anybody, but oops, I'm getting emails. You don't have to send out your orders to anyone, but just like, oh, you know, I'm packaging this order, blah, 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 put it together, show them your packaging, and that could be your pre-launch strategy. James?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Were you able to get it?
Yeah, just, yeah.
Yeah, but you called while I was live and I couldn't answer.
No, I didn't know if we double paid or not.
No.
Okay, so, yeah.
You paid?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't want to double pay.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so that should be it shouldn't be anything thought out, or it shouldn't be anything complicated. Let me rephrase that. It shouldn't be anything complicated. Just come in with confidence, kind of let them get to know you and see if they want to buy from you, not out of pity, but because you have a great product. So let's see. Understand the big ideas, but cannot find any videos or resources that dig into the, understand the big ideas, but cannot find any videos or resources that dig into this deeper. Can you, Jen, can you kind of explain what that last part meant? I didn't quite understand that. When starting out my business, what would be the best quantity of inventory to buy? That there's no true answer to that. I started my business with 3 products and I just kept moving, kept adding as I went on. If you have good products, if you have a great message, if you're not just selling them like crap, it doesn't matter how many products you have in your catalog. People will buy good products and they will buy from someone that they actually like. So, have engaging pictures. Explain, if you come out with 3 products, explain why you have these 3. And then you'll find your tribe as you keep going. Let's see. I recently watched a YouTube video about using Google Trends to help with ads. That's probably a great resource. I personally don't use Google Trends, but if anything helps, it doesn't sound like a bad idea. So, it could definitely help. You saying that's horrible. Yeah. How have you been handling returns, if any, recently, especially if the jewelry has been worn? So I actually don't have that problem. If someone is returning the piece, it's usually because it doesn't fit and I keep these stickers on it. And then I also have a return policy on my site. So people typically know my return policy before they even email me. So make sure you have your return policy on your site. Make sure you have your return policy on your Instagram, so you can avoid those kind of things. But if you have a great product, then you shouldn't be getting too many returns. I personally do exchanges, and then I make them pay the cost of me shipping them a label and then me sending out another one. So I make them pay that cost. I would love to work with you. I am the same way when it comes to my products and people copying me. Yeah, so it's just, so there's some, like, so Okay, so like something like this, right? This is a stock item. So I don't really care if I'm not the only person in my shop who has that. But like my rings and the stuff that I actually design, that's what kind of like is upsetting me. And then the fact that like I'll see people just go to my website and just literally copy word for word, and then they'll switch out some of their words, and that's disheartening. So that's what prevents me from like doing more to help. Even though I want to help, I just can't. I can't. But yeah, definitely email me if you want a one-on-one. I'm trying to get together some stuff for the mentorship with my lawyer, but that should be coming actually in the beginning of January. Let's see. Would you recommend building a social media page before introducing a jewelry line? I have a themed page, both Facebook and Instagram. Would you recommend building a social media page before introducing a jewelry line? I have a theme page. What do you mean? So a page for your jewelry, like specifically? I sell most of my items from Instagram, but I do have people on Facebook who follow my company. I need to do better with checking my Facebook stuff because I'm not really active. My Instagram feeds into Facebook, so that's kind of what I do. But what do you mean? Like if I think it's a good idea to have a Facebook or Instagram page for your jewelry, of course. That's how I make all of my sales. All right, guys, are there any more questions? Let me pull up my Shopify. So is build an audience. Oh, so when you are building, like, so before you even launch, you need to know who your audience is in the first place. Because when you know who your audience is, you know what kind of pictures to post, you know, like what kind of language to speak, you know who you're talking to. So all of that is necessary before you even begin. Don't start until you know who your person is. Like, are you selling to girls? Where do they shop? What do they look like? What do they wear? Because Instagram is social media. So like you want to catch people's attention. Like, so when I pose for most of my stuff, a lot of my girls buy clothes from Zara. So most likely I'm going to be in like a blazer from Zara, something recognizable. And then like I'll put on like this chain with like a lacy tank top because I know who my girl is. I know my girl down to the stuff that she wears. Like, I mean, to the stuff that she watches on TV. Like that's how narrowed down I know my girl. Oh, that's another thing, guys. For next year, you all want to be so authentic to you and so authentic to your brand. You don't want to copy what other people are doing because they are marketing to their person, right? So you have to figure out who your girl is to market to that person. Because I'll see a lot of people like copy what I'm doing and they're like, but it doesn't work. I'm like, because we don't have the same person in mind. I know my girl and you're trying to like steal my stuff and then sell to your people. It's not the same girl. So next year going forward, make sure you have your person so narrowed down. Like if you're funky, right? Like, so I don't know if Dana's still on here, but she like has like these black earrings and I think they're handmade and her stuff is like really funky, right? So she has her girl, she wears funky glasses. I love her look. She's doing everything right. I think she just needs, Dana, are you still here? Is Dana still here? Yay, right? So she has her like her look, so it's so her, right? And then Dana, I saw that you had Raven Elise wear your earrings, and I'm like, ugh, Raven's funky too. So like you have to have your person narrowed down. Like you can't. So that's one thing. So before you guys even start, you have to have your person narrowed down, and then you have to do things, create content, create pictures that would market specifically to that girl. And that is probably the best way to do it. And yeah, so it makes sense. Like, it makes complete sense, right? So you guys have to have your person in mind before you even launch, because if you can create content that targets that girl, that's how you guys can bring in sales. If anything, build relationship with people and then bring in sales. So because I wasn't always getting sales at first. At first, it was a lot of me like building relationships, getting these strangers to trust me, honestly. Like, my family didn't really buy my brand. It was just me like building trust with my community, with my Facebook, with my Instagram followers. So let's see. Have you ever thought about doing monogram items? And if so, do you know how? So I thought about it. I couldn't really figure out how to, I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I just let the idea go. But I did think about it. I know it's possible. I couldn't find the quality. I couldn't find a vendor that I felt was good enough to do it. So let's see. When you print your labels that are already paid for, do you put them in blue mailboxes or take them to the actual post office? Have you had issues? Okay, I don't put them in the blue mailboxes. When I go to the post office, they have those, it says packages, and it's like a pull down drawer, and it's like, you know, it's kind of like round like that, and it's a pull down drawer, and I just drop all of my packages in there. I did not have any, for the Christmas holiday, I didn't have any issues with packages being lost. I did have issues with delays as far as USPS. But before, like during COVID, there were a lot of packages that, not a lot, I wouldn't say a lot. Maybe if I did 100 packages, maybe 2 or 3 would be lost. Or they would get rerouted. Like if it was going to New Jersey, it ended up in Hawaii, then back in Texas, then to New Jersey. And it took the girl like 25 days to get the package. It was ridiculous. So it's like little things like that. But for the most part, USPS isn't bad. They're just slow right now. So let's see. If looks could kill, you'd be a weapon of mass destruction. James, someone's on here flirting with me.
What is that?
They said if looks could kill, you'd be a weapon of mass destruction. How did you find your management team? I remember in one of your, the people who do my ads, I found them through an Instagram ad. I kind of followed him and followed his team a little bit to see if I liked what he's about. And he's actually a Christian too. So I was like, okay, let me give this guy a try. So that's kind of how that worked out. Do you guys have any questions? I think for 2021, I'm just going to recap. Like I said, is to, if you have a product that is working, if you have a bestseller, one thing that I did in October, November is I doubled my inventory. When I doubled my inventory, I was able to sell out more. I was able to make my my order values go up. It allowed me to make more sales. So that's something that you guys should look into. If you have Shopify, review all of your analytics. If you have Instagram, review all of your analytics. Like if people are saving a certain picture, create more pictures like the ones that they're saving. I don't use AliExpress. AliExpress is like for small orders, and my orders are too big. And I like to work directly with the manufacturers, not, what are they called? I was about to call them novelty stores, but that's not what I like to work with the manufacturers. Alibaba is a lot of the trade stores. So they're like a middleman. Or the quality's not as good. I like to customize my stuff, so that's why I work with Alibaba. Let's see. Do you pay attention to trends or the colors of the year at all? Just go on your gut. I'm kind of struggling with that. No, well, so for you, Dana, your stuff is vibrant. So for me, I pay attention to like fashion trends. I work with a lot of bloggers. You should try bloggers who align more like you. But if you go to my page, it's a little different, like, because my feed is mostly black, white, gold, and green. For you, you know who you remind me of, and she does it so well, and that's her lane, is check out Sassy Jones. And not really her products remind me of yours, Dana, but her marketing, the way she markets, because it's very colorful. If you go to her website, she has the products being worn, but she has her models in all of her product photography have like a contrasting lip color, right? So if her earrings are like bright blue, their lipstick is bright pink, and it's just so like she does it so well. And so you have like a lot of black jewelry, which I really love, but there's a different way. Just check her out, because her style's not like yours, but the way she markets with color reminds me of your brand. So I would check her out. I think that what she's doing, and she has a whole warehouse in Virginia, and she's like making millions each year, but she uses color so well. I don't use color that well, so I don't think I'm the best person, but I do love what she's doing. I respect what she's doing. She's killing it. But any of you guys that have like colorful, very bold statement pieces, check out Sassy Jones, and because I think she does it so right. I do a lot of minimal jewelry. I do day jewelry, but she uses a lot of color, and the way she connects with her community is really inspiring too. I think she goes live like every day. I want to say she goes live every day, and she puts on like her pieces and stuff for the day, and then her team wears all of their jewelry every day too, so she's killing it. Let's see. How did you find suppliers that fulfill your own jewelry designs? That was one of the first videos. I kind of just trial and error, just sent my designs places and see what they came up with. And then I worked with the manufacturer that I communicated with that was able to deliver. But it's a lot of trial and error. I want to tell y'all, I spent like almost $1,000 sourcing before I even launched. So definitely a lot of trial and error. All right. So for those of you who have not started, and are interested in starting, I am gonna start wholesaling like basic chains and stuff. So like minimum orders. So what else do I have? Like I have tons and tons of chains options. But that is one thing that I'm gonna be doing, so you know that the quality is good. I personally use 14 karat gold, stainless steel, water resistant. So if that's something, if you want to fill your shop up with some good chains, send me an email. I am going to probably do an intensive course, maybe not a mentorship, but like an intensive of how to like successfully sell through Instagram. We'll talk about marketing. We'll talk about building your brand. And so that's going to be maybe in June. So I'll probably do a live beforehand and announce everything. But yeah, those are the two things that I have coming for January. How long do manufacturers keep your mold for designs if you've created? Do you have to be constantly ordering that design? How long do manufacturers keep your mold? That's I don't know how to answer that question. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Once I found a manufacturer that I liked, I just asked them to like do my bulk order. So I don't know how long the other ones, I didn't reach back out. So I can't answer that one truthfully. When you say sourcing, do you mean testing vendors out, getting samples? Yes, that's sourcing. Yeah. So in January, I'll probably be doing an intensive about selling on Instagram, building your brand, how to market, how to set up your Facebook manager for Instagram ads, kind of running you how I find stuff to test, how I pick designs and stuff to test. And then we'll be opening our wholesale shop. So that's basically it. I think for this year, let me turn you guys around. I told you guys I'm very like very transparent. I'm not just coming on here and just trying to lie to you all. Okay, so wait, for this month, I think last month, November was my best month so far. So last month I prepared for Black Friday, and this is what we did in the 30 days, 21,000. I was so proud. And the only thing that really changed was having inventory in stock. 30, and even when we didn't, we pre-sold. So it's definitely possible, guys. I want to just say, when you guys are planning for 2021, make sure you stay authentic to who you are marketing to. Keep the blinders on, keep straight ahead. I'll give you as many tips as possible as far as marketing to your people. But if you stay authentic and you are bringing fresh things to the table, then people will, it might take a little while to gain momentum, and that's okay. You just want to stay authentic to your true self and to what your vision is as far as having a jewelry brand. There's a lot of people out here and they see like, oh, Monique's killing it in jewelry. But maybe your lane isn't jewelry. Maybe you should sell your experience in something else. Like, so I don't want you guys to just think that like jewelry is like the easy way to get into e-commerce. There's tons of other things that you can do. And there's so many. James, come here. Do you have clothes on? Come here. Come here. You can sell your knowledge. There's so many things that you can do over the internet to make money. So James, say hi, James.
How y'all doing?
Come down a little bit. So James, we live in Texas. He was living in Seattle, and then he wanted to do a football camp in Oregon, right? Yeah. So James's knowledge is football IQ. From Texas and from Seattle, we planned a whole camp on Instagram and on Facebook. And how many people did you have show up?
Like 15 to 20.
15 people, and we were out of state. So the thing is, people will buy if they trust you and if they know that you have like something to give. So I don't want you to, like, if you want to be in e-commerce and you think jewelry's the route, but you don't know, and jewelry's not even your thing, don't think that like you just have to like sell products. James sells knowledge, right? So there's ways that you could do it on the internet, and there's just so many there's so many ways to do it. Oh, so you leaving now?
Yeah. Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, so like,
Bull by my knee.
thanks, babe. This isn't the platform. They're not buying my jewelry. They're buying my knowledge.
Soak it in.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of money to be made. You can apply the same strategies for jewelry in other arenas. So like I have no clue about football, but I know how to sell. Like I figured out how to like find your target and sell to your target. So that's what I want you guys to take away. For just be authentic. James is authentic to himself. He knows football IQ. People will buy from you if they trust that you know what you're talking about. And I'm just saying there's just other ways to do it. So you don't have to feel like you have to copy people to get success. James copied my methods of how I communicate online, and he was able to build a camp in a different state. But I'm just saying you can use these same principles in any area of e-commerce. So that's the thing for 2021, stay authentic. If there are no other questions, we are gonna call it here. Do you use a specific program for designing your jewelry? Is there one that you recommend? Girl, I use a pen and a paper. I take a picture of it and I send it on Alibaba. But if you do want something a little bit more professional, like if your designs are a little bit more detail oriented, you can get someone, so you can hire someone who understands CAD designs and get someone to do you a CAD design and then send it to the manufacturer. And then a lot of manufacturers have their own designers. So you can, and that's typically what I do, is I just work with the designers of the manufacturer. So I send them a picture, they'll send me back a CAD design, and then we go forward. They'll ask my approval. But if you want someone to do your CAD design beforehand, you can find someone to do that. It's not that hard. So I just explained earlier, I actually lost my job. I still get paid for the next year, but I actually lost my job. But I knew it was coming, so it was okay. I am not upset. And when I was managing both, it was exhausting, to be completely honest. I work my 9 to 5, then I do my jewelry stuff. It's doable. It's exhausting, but it's doable. But yeah, so now I don't really have to work. But it's all good. God will provide, so I'm not even worried. We will make it through. You can get a P.O. box. How do you send orders without having your address on the box? Not sure where you are. We have P.O. boxes in the US, to where you can put your P.O. box on your address part. All right. Yes, God will provide. So if you guys are looking for particular chains, I'm gonna open up the wholesale shop hopefully by the end of January. If you guys are looking for stuff in particular, like a chain type, definitely DM me. I can get it to you within the next month. I'm looking to start that like today. So if there are items that you are looking for specifically, email me like right after this, so I can get your order in, hopefully get it in by the end of get it to you by the end of January. But I am opening a wholesale chain shop, so I'm excited about that. So I will talk to you guys later. Stay true to yourself, be authentic. I will get you details of the intensive that we're gonna be doing in January. And yes, I hope you guys have a happy new year too. So bye guys.